As I've been told plenty of times throughout my life, length isn't everything. While a lot of focus is placed on how long a wrestler can hold on to a championship for, some performers achieve more in a handful of weeks with a belt than others do in years. The following reigns lasted for less than 90 days, but were extremely impactful, important, or entertaining. There are a few wrestlers currently on long championship runs that could learn a thing or two from these examples. Not naming any names, obviously. Roman R. No, that's too obvious. Let's say R Reigns. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are 10 great short wrestling title reigns. Join us. Number 10, Seth Rollins Intercontinental Championship, 71 days. Winning a championship at WrestleMania is pretty good. Becoming a Grand Slam champion is also pretty good. Winning a championship that makes you a Grand Slam champion at WrestleMania? Well, that's pretty much as good as it gets. This is what happened to Seth Rollins when he won a triple threat match against The Miz and Finn Balor to become Intercontinental Champion in the opening match of WrestleMania 34. Rollins was extremely over at the time and one of the best workers in the company, so what he did next made total sense. Rollins would put on great matches with a variety of opponents across this reign, including a 4-way ladder match at Greatest Royal Rumble and a stonking singles match with Miz at Backlash, both of which were the best things on these godforsaken shows. It all came to an end when Seth was unseated by Dolph Ziggler 71 days into his reign, kicking off their rivalry that would stretch out for most of the year. He may have only had the belt for just over 2 months, but the architect built quite the Intercontinental legacy in that time. Number 9, Jon Moxley Interim AEW Championship, 70 days. From one Shield member to another, and from a mid-card title in one promotion to another federation's top prize, sort of. When CM Punk got injured shortly after becoming AEW champion, Tony Khan broke the glass that he keeps Jon Moxley behind in case of emergencies. Moxley then took a bump on that glass and bled everywhere just because. The former Dean Ambrose was booked to defeat Hiroshi Tanahashi at Forbidden Door to become AEW's interim world champion. Many assumed he was just keeping the belt warm for Punk's return, but this reign turned out to be way more than filler. Mox defended the title pretty much every week on Dynamite, defeating the likes of Brody King, Roosh, and Chris Jericho. Then, when Punk did come back, he beat him in a shocking squash. By the time Punk finally beat Mox to reclaim the gold, the former Hound of Justice had only had the belt for a total of 70 days, but had put on more excellent bouts in that time than other world champions who reigned for much, much longer. Not naming any names, Roman Reigns. I know I've already done that joke, but come on. Number 8, John Cena and Shawn Michaels World Tag Team Championship, 63 days. The main event of WrestleMania 23 was an epic WWE title clash between two men who knew each other very well. A couple of months out from their big bout in Detroit on the January 29th, 2007 episode of Raw to be specific, John Cena and Shawn Michaels teamed up to defeat World Tag Team Champions Rated RKO, giving HBK his first tag gold in 13 years and Cena his first ever. This was done to add some extra spice to their upcoming main event, as Cena was well aware that Michaels had turned on pretty much every single one of his partners over the course of his career. It added quite the wrinkle to the Mania match, which Cena ended up winning. Not only did this reign add some intrigue to a big match, but Cena and Michaels actually defended the belts quite a few times on TV. All in all, they reigned for 63 days before Shawn turned on John by costing them the belts in a battle royal. Old habits die hard, I guess. Number 7, Sami Zayn NXT Championship, 62 days. Coming in a day under Michaels and Cena's tag run is the reign that made Sami Zayn, made Kevin Owens, and for many fans helped make NXT. The main event of TakeOver R Evolution saw NXT champion Adrian Neville, the modern day Pac, put the big gold X on the line against the red-headed Montreal native. After coming up short several times in the past, Zayn had wagered his career on this match, and it paid off as he defeated the Geordie to win the belt in the ultimate feel-good moment. And then Kevin Owens powerbombed him to the center of the earth. KO's betrayal led to a title match between the real-life pals at TakeOver Rival, which Owen would win via referee stoppage. The fact that Zayn's reign was so short, 62 days in total, only added to the drama. Owens had robbed his former pal of something that meant so much to him just 2 months after he won it. Amazingly, Zayn never got to hold this title again, despite being the face of this era of NXT for so many people. I guess nice guys really do finish last, eh? Number 6, Chris Jericho, World Heavyweight Champion, 49 days. Though he won 6 world titles in WWE, a fact that he will tell you every chance he gets, the most time Chris Jericho ever spent with one of the top belts, the Undisputed title, was just 98 days. When it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship, a title he held 3 times, the longest Jericho could hold onto it for was just 49 days. Luckily for us fans, those 49 days were epic. This was during Y2J's suit-wearing, slow-talking days, widely regarded as one of the best stints of his entire career. At Unforgiven 2008, he was a last-minute entry into a championship scramble match, which allowed him to win a world title for the first time in 7 years. This then led to one of the all-time great World Heavyweight Championship matches when Jericho defended the belt against Shawn Michaels in a ladder match at No Mercy. He lost it 3 weeks later to Batista, but he had already ensured that his name would be forever linked to this particular prize. Weirdly, Jericho then got the belt back just 8 days later, only to lose it again 20 days after that to John Cena. So why did WWE even have Batista win it in the first place? Number 5, Kurt Angle, Eurocontinental Championship, 35 days. The Eurocontinental Championship never actually officially existed, despite the fact that it was held by 3 different wrestlers. First was D'Lo Brown, then Jeff Jarrett, then the greatest champion in this unofficial belt's history, Kurt Angle. Just a few months into his rookie year, Angle beats Val Venus on the February 10th, 2000 edition of SmackDown to win the European title. 17 days after that, at No Way Out, he defeated Chris Jericho to win the Intercontinental Championship too, setting up a marquee match at the upcoming WrestleMania 2000. Angle would defend both belts against Jericho and Chris Benoit, with whoever scored the first pin winning one title and whoever scored the second winning the other. Despite not being pinned, Angle dropped both of his belts on this night, bringing his time as double champ to an end after just 35 days. However, this brief run gave fans a glimpse at how bloody great he was with gold around his waist, paving the way for his world title win later that same year. He was cocky, he was arrogant, he was endlessly entertaining. In fact, Angle was so good as Eurocontinental Champion that WWE never put both titles on the same person ever again. Number 4, The Rock, WWE Championship, 35 days. Speaking of 35 days, and of Kurt Angle, that is precisely how long The Rock had the WWE Championship for after he beat the Olympic gold medalist at No Way Out 2001. Everyone and their dog had figured out that Rocky was winning here, as the champ would be going on to face Royal Rumble winner Steve Austin at WrestleMania X7. Angle versus Austin would have been nice, I'm sure, but come on, it was never gonna happen. In the 5 weeks between No Way Out and Mania, Rock defended the belt on TV against Angle and William Regal, built to his match with Stone Cold, and was featured in one of the greatest wrestling video packages of all time. This is of course without mentioning the night he dropped the belt, the night that Austin went heel, shook hands with the devil, and changed the very face of pro wrestling forever. Some may see Rock's 6th WWE title reign as little more than a way of getting the belt onto Austin, but it was so much more than that. It set up the quintessential Attitude Era pay-per-view main event. Number 3, CM Punk, WWE Championship, 28 days. Though WWE would like us to believe that their summer of Punk started at Money in the Bank 2011, it didn't actually get going until much later in the year. You all know the story by now. CM Punk's contract is running out, he's facing Cena for the world title in Chicago, he wins the belt, blows a kiss, and runs off into the wilderness. Unfortunately, instead of doing what he said he would do and taking the belt all over the world, he was back on Raw within 8 days. This set up a rematch with Cena at SummerSlam, where the winner would be crowned the undisputed WWE Champion. Punk won with a little cheating, but was then cashed in on by Alberto Del Rio, ending the title reign that had begun so promisingly in just 28 days. Even with this disappointing number attached to it, Punk's first run with the WWE title is still so important. Without it, there would have been no monster 434-day reign to follow. Punk would not be the cherished figure he is today, because if wrestling fans are good at one thing, it's forgetting details about storylines to make them seem better in hindsight. Number 2, Taz, ECW Championship, 9 days. Let me tell you a little story about a man named Mike Awesome. As his name suggested, he was an awesome wrestler, so much so that Extreme Championship Wrestling made him their world champion in late 1999. There was just one little problem. Mike wasn't getting his wages paid, so he decided to entertain an offer from WCW. Awesome turned up on Nitro while still ECW champion, leaving Paul Heyman with a massive headache. In order to get the title off his rogue champ, he called in a favor from Vince McMahon, who loaned him back one of his old favorite toys. On April 13th, 2000, Taz returned to the promotion where he made his name, beat Awesome for the belt, and became a two-time ECW champion. This meant that, and say it with me now, a WWE wrestler had beaten a WCW wrestler for an ECW championship. Lovely stuff. Though he would only hold the gold for 9 days before dropping it to Tommy Dreamer, Taz got a lot done. Famously, he wrestled Triple H on an episode of SmackDown, pitting reigning WWE and ECW champions against each other for the first time ever. History Maker Jones over here. Number 1, Andre the Giant, WWE Championship, about 3 minutes. Ironically, the man who spent the shortest total time as WWE Champion is one of the biggest stars in company history, both figuratively and literally. Andre the Giant pinned Hulk Hogan to end his 4+ year long reign with the WWE Championship, thanks to more than a little help from a crooked referee, some plastic surgery, and a millionaire. It's a long story. After finally getting his revenge on the Hulkster for WrestleMania 3, Andre immediately turned around and sold the top prize to Ted DiBiase. Whilst the $1 Million Man's reign was eventually retconned, the Giant's wasn't, making him an official WWE champion. And honestly, without Andre's briefest of brief reigns, so much wouldn't have happened. There would have been no WrestleMania 4 main event, which means that Randy Savage would have never won his first world title. This means there would have been no Mega Powers, and in turn, no Savage Hogan main event of WrestleMania 5 either. It may have been a blink and you'll miss it non-run under the screwiest of screwy circumstances, but Andre's one and only world title win was absolutely huge.